Boom. Now you're in direct communication with 2 Chainz, right?
Yeah.
If you want a super strong community, though, I'd recommend things like, that's a big misconception about where you are. You're competing with 100 million people. All right, episode
number
4.
Quattro, yeah. So,
the last couple episodes, we've talked about a handful of things. I mean, it's been good. It's been real.
Branding, algorithms, social media.
Tons of value in this podcast. That's what we're trying to do. Quick value, right? For artists, anybody trying to get into music. So
There we're going to be just talking about some not random questions, but just not necessarily as much in a clear topic
on this podcast.
On today's podcast, yeah.
But it's still going to be valuable, though, right?
Very valuable.
I think it will.
We got a lot of stuff here, hopefully.
All right, we'll hit him with the first question.
All right. What are some ways an artist can build a strong community?
Okay, this is a good one.
Heavy hitter here.
You know what? Community is it's just the life and blood of an artist's success. You know, community is going to come to shows. Community is going to purchase the albums. Community is going to stream the songs, right?
And bots aren't.
Bots aren't. Yeah, 100%. No, literally. So building a community, I mean, there's lots of different ways you should do it, but I actually recommend that people start getting creative with this.
Yeah.
Right? So you've got to compete for this community. You really do. You have to do some special things.
Yeah.
In order to build this community. I mean, it's not just like anybody's going to come on and then just be a part of this, right? So, and we want a direct engagement. There's different levels of community. So we can have Instagram, right? We got your followers and you got people engaged, maybe in the comments section. Yeah. That's one level of community.
Yeah.
If you want a super strong community, though, I'd recommend things like exclusive Discord.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Exclusive Discord, Telegram, right? A Telegram group where you're communicating with your artists. Keep it light, keep it enjoyable, funny. Be yourself, be your personality. Give them perks for being in there.
An interesting example of a great community is Swifties. Even though it's kind of funny, the fact that a community of like people who follow an artist has their own name is crazy.
100%.
And building something like that is where you want to be.
Yeah, I mean, that community is so big.
Mm-hmm. I know.
The fan accounts.
Millions and millions of people.
You know, you've got people starting their own fan pages and their own Discord chats.
Exactly, yeah.
And, so, I mean, in order to create that, I think being a personality, that's a big one, right? Having a personality people connect with. People just connect with you, enjoy being around you, being friendly to people. You know, a lot of artists, they become very, like, egotistical. I'm better than everybody, especially in, like, the rap game.
Yeah.
You know, and so just really coming down on earth and being like, you know what, these are my fans. I got to show some love.
Yeah.
Right? And just interacting with them, showing love to the fans. Maybe even like some creative things, starting a fan page.
Yeah.
That's a big one. You know what I'm saying? Starting a fan page, getting people involved in the community sense, and then really just incentivizing from day one.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
All right, this next question probably deserves its own podcast, so we'll probably do one of those in the future, but how should an artist in 2024 go about networking?
Right. Yeah, that really is a whole podcast episode.
But probably do that in the future, but for now, let's just like give a little short, sweet.
Right. I would say, okay, so let's keep it brief. Networking in 2024, I think in-person networking is a big deal.
Yeah.
Online connections just aren't as strong.
They're just not,
They're not as strong. So it's about going to local places, right?
Yeah.
Local shows, local bars, places where you've got people performing, and just sitting there, being a part of the community, especially if you live in a big city, Miami, Chicago, Atlanta.
Yeah.
There's so much of a music scene in places like that, and you should take advantage of that. And if you're not in places like that, every once in a while, taking a trip out there, and integrating with these communities. It's very important in person, building those kinds of connections. One of the things that I always hear about is people, like, I have people that'll tell me, like, I got a feature with 2 Chainz. And I was just talking to this guy yesterday that did that. And I'm talking to him and I'm like, okay, so how did you go about doing that? Like, how did you meet 2 Chainz? How did you do that? And he's like, you can't submit a Google form submission.
Yeah.
He's like, along with the other 10,000 people that did that today.
Yeah.
So he's like, you have to be in the club where these artists are. You have to find them. You have to be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
You just gotta show up.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And he's like, boom, there's 2 Chainz. And I'm like, yo, man. And we just have this casual conversation, handshake. Yo, I should grab your phone number. right? Let me get your manager's contact. I've got some great music. I'm willing to pay you for a feature. We're willing to work business out.
Yeah.
Got the number, got the contact. Boom. Now you're in direct communication with 2 Chainz, right? And how did that happen? The right place at the right time. So it's just about putting yourself in those consistent situations. And then online, making an effort. You know, following people, DMing people, hey man, I love your music. Let me know if we can work sometime. Yeah. Right? Because then you can also spark in-person connections at that time. I do that a lot with artists. You know, I'll be like, yo, your music is awesome. And then, you know, a year down the road, there we are. We're eating dinner together, we're laughing, you know, we're sharing a drink. And it's like, yeah, that's awesome. That's what it's all about.
How should an artist go about managing contracts, rights management, monetization, etc.?
That's a big one. Okay, so contracts, rights, and all of those things. You know, again, people overcomplicate this quite a bit. So, first and foremost, when it comes to beats, that's typically the biggest problem. Okay? Beat licensing. You know, people, they for whatever they don't have it figured out. You know, there's no cheat code. Producers want to earn some money. So, when you hop on a beat, you need to get a commercial license for it. That's the big one. A lot of the times, though, as a creator, by releasing a song under your name, as long as you pay for the rights to the beat that you're using, you'll be fine. You'll be fine because by law, the second you publish that song, you own the rights to it. You own the masters to it. Now, you can do different things. You can go online. I would recommend doing your research, registering for different things, copyright organizations, you know. Is it that big of a deal? No. Maybe will it help you get recognized and get placed on some commercial, like, you know, TV things? Sure. And, you know, I just tell people cross the bridge when you get to it. You know, don't get so caught up in like trying to prepare yourself for a multi-million-dollar contract before that's even on the table. Because
and I think just one thing that I think we have to say is that this is not legal advice. So you guys can't sue us if something messes up. Just so
I'm just saying, don't steal beats. You know what I'm saying? Give credit where it's due. Pay the producer $50 to use the beat. I mean, come on.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's people who try to skirt by that all the time, and I'm like, you know, that's the only way you can directly get in trouble as an artist. I mean, people call me. I mean, you'd be so surprised if people call me all the time, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm in this issue with this producer." I'm like, "Did you buy the beat?" I'm like, "Well, no, but you know, I'm like, just pay the producer the $50 he's asking for." Like, most it's not even that much money, you know. Just buy yourself like a basic license, and if the song goes big, you'll make money anyway. So you know.
What are some unrealistic expectations that emerging artists have?
That they're the best, and that they're God's given right to this earth. I mean, I don't want to be disrespectful or controversial, but I think a lot of artists need to check their ego. 150%. It's about recognizing where you are in a much, much bigger world. You know, there's 8 billion people in the world. I mean, personally, after being in this industry for 6 years, and, you know, I run a marketing company, right? Like, we run ArtistKraft. ArtistKraft provides these services. So we've done our research on our target audience. Guess what? Our target audience is hundreds of millions of people. You know why that is? Because there's hundreds of millions of artists. Guess what? Hundreds and millions of artists all are competing to be in the top 100. Top 100. I mean, honestly, even if you're in the top 100, like, a lot of people don't know number 98. Isn't that crazy? So coming into the game feeling like you're gonna make it, and telling people that, and just being like, I got this. Like, you honestly, I think an artist is gonna be way more successful if they come into this from a very humble position, understanding where they are in the world outside of their community, and really recognizing they've got a long road to travel. That's a big misconception about, you know, where you are. Another misconception is that, you know, music is a business. It really is. Music is a business. The songs are your product.
You can have the best song ever made, but if no one sees it, no one's going to listen to it, and then it'll go nowhere. So
so music is a business, right? Like, if you have an excellent product with no marketing, guess who's buying that product? Not too many people. If you have excellent marketing and a shit product, guess who's buying that product? Not too many people.
You gotta have
good marketing, good product.
You know,
you've got to have both. And that's exactly the same way it is in music. The music has to be good, and the marketing has to be good. I've met so many people online who just post songs, and they're like, you know what, this song is so good, I know it's going to go somewhere. I mean, this is a million stream song. They post it, it gets like 500 views. And they're like, I don't know what happened. I'm like, well, what happened is you were trying to be skinny on the marketing, but you didn't invest in yourself. You didn't even do an ad campaign for this. Or people just do like a half-ass campaign. They put $200 into it, and they're like, well, you know, why am I not famous yet? Like, this music is so good. I'm like,
no one saw it. No
one's saw it. You're competing with 100 million people. You need to
Yeah.
push it out more than everybody else. And there's people spending thousands of dollars on marketing.
Yeah.
Not to say that you need to spend thousands of dollars on marketing. You either need to spend the money or you need to have the knowledge
to do it organically.
Right? Yeah, you need
That's
to
a
have,
big thing.
either you can put in the time, you can put in the knowledge, or you can put in the money.
Yeah.
But one of those things is going to have to be much better than everybody
Yeah.
else if you're going to find success.
How should an artist balance their creative vision with commercial demands?
You know, I think just it's about being organic to who you are, producing music, never letting the audience sway you. Okay, so this is another thing. It's big with music producers.
Yeah.
You know, music producers, the whole tight beat industry is interesting to me.
Yeah.
You've got these artists that are talented, but what do? All they do is they just sit on the computer all day and they make Chris Brown type beats, and they're just mirroring this artist. And I'm like, okay, so you are your own artist, but you're like an extension of this artist. You're not even individual.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, sure, there's a demand for Chris Brown beats, but like, put your own spin on it. Be unique. Do something different, right? So be unique. Be consistent. Be yourself. Don't let the big market sway you, because you want to create your own market.
Yeah.
You want to be unique enough to where you can create your own market.
Yeah. And how can people do that and at the same time be adaptable to the change in the industry?
I think it's about, you know, taking feedback, because people will give you feedback.
Yeah.
Listen to it. It's about an ego thing again, right? Like, you need to just, if somebody says, you know what, man, I like the personality, I like the sound, but it's not quite 100%. It's not quite marketable. Listen to that feedback. You got to understand that. So, you know, with that being said, I would say that just taking in feedback, being yourself, not really being swayed too much, and just kind of staying consistent.
All right. Everything I got for you, man.
All right, yeah, it was definitely like an a la carte podcast, but
yeah, I think it was some good topics that we covered. It was a little bit of everything, but it was nice.
100%. Yeah, and you guys, let us know in the comments section if there's anything that you want us to cover. You know, this is a brand new podcast, episode number 4. So we're always looking for new content. Also, let us know if you would like any guest speakers on the podcast talking about certain things.
Try to manage that,
Lots of things in the future. All right. Well,
yeah,
that's a wrap, Connor.
That's a
it's
wrap.
a pleasure.
4th episode. All right.
All right. ArtistKraft.
Good talking to you, man.